Welcome back to the New Wave Therapy Podcast, hosted by Bob Burdican. Today's topic in the series, the 21st episode of the Best Kept Secrets in Supplements, covers how enzymes can really help your digestive tract. The information contained within this podcast, website, articles, images, videos, and the resources available for download through this website is not intended as, and shall not be understood or construed as, medical or health advice. While New Wave Therapy and Country Doctor Nutritional Center address health issues and the information provided through this medium relates to medical and/or health issues, the information provided through these means is not a substitute for medical or health advice from a medical professional who is aware of the facts and circumstances of your individual situation. The information that is provided, as well as the resources and downloads, are for educational and informational purposes.
Well, good morning or afternoon or wherever you happen to be. Today on the Best Kept Secrets in Supplements, we actually kind of expand on the last episode, which was about digestion. We actually include a lot of that same information that we talked about last time, but we expanded quite a bit by including the use of enzymes and how they directly affect your whole digestive system and what they can do to help you feel better. So without any more clowning around or dragging it out, I'm going to stop here and wait for Dan to tag up here, and we're going to get a great tag team match here going about digestion and enzymes. So without further ado, let's get Dan going and we'll go from there. Okay. So here we are again. We're back talking to Dan Young, Country Doctor Nutritional Center in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And we're going to continue what we were talking about last time, which is digestive issues. I understand we're going to throw a few more things out there to discuss, mainly enzymes. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got 3 different approaches, 2 formulas, 3 approaches with supporting the digestive needs most people suffer from in today's denatured food stuff type climate that people are eating.
Yeah. Well, they don't realize it, but they brought this all upon themselves. They think that they're really taking care of themselves, but in the process, they're just really tearing their whole system down. Anyway, before we get started, let me ask you a couple of questions about enzymes. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Okay. So why are enzymes important to the digestive system itself?
Enzymes therapy is widely used. The science and the literature is very, very clear. Every single process that the human body engages in, when it comes to production of hormones, the heart firing to the cardiovascular circulatory strength and health for the blood to circulate, of synapses of the brain, the nervous system, digestion, okay, even in the immune system, every process that the human body goes through has to have, it begins and ends with the spark provided by good quality enzymes being present in the body. And what happens is at about the age of 35, this quality enzyme bank in the will, we have a bank account of enzymes, it starts to diminish. It starts to get depleted, coupled with the fact that modern food processes, the denaturing of foods, the processed, the refined, the chemically enhanced flavor enhancers and food colorings, and all the things that people find in food stuff, because it's not really food, it's kind of food stuff, right? These are the things that diminish and deplete our enzyme banks. So, the literature says that after about age 35, we see depletion of these things, but I've seen it as early on as in kids, they're 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 years of age, showing already signs of these depleted enzymes. And every process in the body relies on good enzymatic activity.
Okay. Yeah, so I can see that happening in young people because, they practically live at the fast food counter, whether they do it on their own or whether mom brings it home from work or whatever,
Yep.
They order it in. That's the big thing here is ordering in, So Anyway, another question is, what are naturally occurring enzymes?
Naturally occurring enzymes primarily come from your foods that, again, have not been denatured. They haven't been tampered with. For example, overheating vegetables and things of that nature, which is really enzyme rich if it's good organic quality, preferably organic quality. And when we heat these items, anytime they're exposed to heat, that's going to denature the enzyme activity. Therefore, it makes it much more challenging for the body to break down the natural occurring vitamins and minerals and oils found in these foods in order to benefit the body and nourish the body.
Okay. So you also mentioned that about age 35, we start losing our bank account of enzymes. How would somebody start to realize that they're losing that and they don't have as many enzymes to pull from? Would they have a change in their attitude, in their way of doing things, how they would feel or something like that?
That's really a great question, because this gives us an opportunity to explore momentarily the enzyme impact that these have on the body. So obviously we think about people with gas, bloating, nausea, heartburn. These are kind of the very simple, very surface symptoms. But what about cognitive function? What about sleep pattern? What about inflammatory responses in the joints and the muscles? What about, the different IBS diagnoses that people are receiving, the systemic inflammatory problems. There's a lot more to this that we have to make sure and pay attention to every time we meet with a client, especially for the first time. And as an ongoing relationship, we constantly are looking for and making sure that we determine whether or not their enzyme use and enzyme presence is being done properly in the body.
Okay. So why don't we kind of dive into some of the products that you want to cover today and try and tie all this together?
Absolutely. What the thing when I was kind of preparing and giving some thought to our conversation tonight,
Yeah.
it was amazing to me that when you think about the HP Digestive Formula that's liquid or the capsule version of these formulas, there's only 5 ingredients, just 5 ingredients.
Okay.
But these ingredients synergistically work together to produce a tremendous amount of health effects and health benefits. For example, when you look at the label here, we think about peppermint leaf and we think about peppermint oil. Peppermint leaf has well over a dozen documented scientifically benefits to our health, not just digestive support, gas and bloating, but also it helps reduce mental fatigue, drowsiness. It acts as a natural sweetener. So people have a sweet tooth and they're taking this, swishing it really good. It already starts to satiate that mental craving, that physical craving for sweets. So it's one of the big benefits from it. So, it helps promote weight loss for people that are struggling with losing weight. We look at some of the other ingredients like ginger. It is well documented for being a wonderful support for the pancreas. As we know, pancreas is involved with the production of insulin and enzymes that the body needs. And how many times are we seeing today that people's, they're all concerned about their A1C number, right? The A1C is above 6. Well, that's a 100% response from a faulty diet and faulty digestive response to the diet. They're literally wearing out these pancreas. So when you put ginger in there, you're introducing an herb that has been documented to promote natural anti-inflammatory responses, nausea with a lot of people. We've seen people, women especially, this one or the capsule version, either one, great for women in pregnancy with nausea. Would help to support the liver, the pancreas. It helps to clean that up. Sweet fennel seed, right? I think that's what it says right here. Yeah, fennel seeds. Fennel seed is an antioxidant, right? So it's really great to use with people that are dealing with some kind of, maybe inflammatory responses. The other thing I found fascinating is that fennel seed contains a natural source of vitamin C, calcium, iron, magnesium, manganese, which supports the pancreas. We see people clinically who have had diagnoses where they have a pituitary tumor, and that leads to things like diabetes mellitus, diabetes diagnosis with the endocrine system. And we're seeing that when we get the manganese, not magnesium, manganese up leveled in the body for the pituitary, it enhances the entire digestive process. And again, the nutmeg, one of the most powerful antioxidants known to man, is a cell protector, naturally enhances cellular protection. It enhances heart performance. That's your mood, helps with mood stabilizing as well. And it's just an amazing formula, just 5 herbs, but their combination and their synergy for the body with people that are dealing with digestive, chronic issues of digestion. I haven't found anything out there better. The only reason that it comes in liquid or capsule is because the delivery system with capsule tends to be a little easier for some people and it's a little more portable, but the effects are amazing.
Okay. Yeah, we've had a couple of people at the farmer's market. We kind of become the go-to people at the farmer's market for all the vendors.
Yeah, I know you have.
I would say 80 to 90% of the people we see through the farmer's market, it's digestion problems. And it's so strange because these people are vegetable and fruit farmers, and they're going, I've got all these digestion problems. Well, why? You got all the answers. You just need to eat what you produce.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing. We're getting a lot of people on, the digestive formulas, and a lot of other symptoms are starting to slow down, and other problems that they've had aren't as great now. And so we've got vendors saying to their customers, like, they'll say something about pain. Oh, you had a pain? You need to go see Bob, So, you're not a good digestion, so you really need to go see Bob, and he'll really help you. And, so we're getting a lot of good feedback that way. But again, we find a lot of digestion problems, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I know with your new test kits, I'm sure that it's really, really coming out now.
Yeah, the support kits have made just a head and shoulders leap forward in our ability to design very practical, easy to follow, and very results driven. Within 3 to 5 days, people are seeing noticeable enhancements with, symptoms coming down. They're performing better. They're feeling better, sleeping better, less aches and pains. It's just the snowball effect. It's taken us 20 years to get to the point where we had that major breakthrough, and I hope we have many more, but we're super, super excited about, what the support kits are doing for people as practitioners and layperson, able to identify what's needed and really see results happen in a pretty fast fashion.
Well, also, it's a situation that you have made it so much easier and better for the practitioner to make sure that they're actually working with their clients to the greatest effect.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. So anyway, let's get back on products. And so basically we've gone through the digestive products, and now I guess we need to sort of look at your other aspects of the enzymes.
Yes. I would like to mention a couple of additional resources to be aware of, and this is really for practitioners. Number one, when you're dealing with a lot of acid reflux, that type of thing, that hernia release right in here.
Right.
If a person suspects they have a hernia or maybe some hiatal ligament stress, they're going to have a lot of recurrent, seemingly non-resolving heartburn. And with a manual manipulation right over the hiatal ligament area, pushing down, we use a percussor in our office, which unlocks that tension and that stress locked into that connective tissue. And there's a little exercise that people can do first thing in the morning, about 16 ounces of water. And if they'll stand on their tiptoes, put their arms above their head and kind of drop, and then put their arms straight out in front of them, drop again, and then to the side and drop, and do that every morning to reprogram that tissue and to remove that stress that's holding this area kind of locked up. You're going to see major improvements with the hiatal ligament influence on creating the heartburn concerns that people have. And the other is your light device. Your red light therapy device, I use weekly with people to utilize it for resetting what we call the digestive valves. Okay. most people, through the mouth, through the throat, in the cardiac sphincter, the pyloric sphincter, and through the ileocecal valve to the hepatic flexure, the splenic flexure, and then down through the ACE, the descending into sigmoid. If we can get some light therapy action going on these areas kind of sequentially, it helps to calm down the tissue, helps these valves to perform better electrically because they've been at the cellular level. As you know, the light's going to upregulate their performance and upregulate that wavelength to normalize all these different valves that have to work sequentially. And so we've seen amazing enhancements by introducing and utilizing that light therapy device as well. So, right, a couple of little added things I wanted to mention.
We actually have
the final
point in the manual that the people can teach their clients to do at home, and have them take home a device and do it on a daily basis, and especially get them through if they're really having these problems, even heartburn problems right now. It would really help them move along much faster and make it easier for the practitioner as they come back to see them again.
What you just said reminded me of what we do as a whole when we use natural substances and devices like the New Wave Therapy red light device for this particular resetting of the digestive valves, is that we're never doing something to a body. We're only doing things with it. We're providing the raw materials that are missing because of faulty diets and stress and long-lasting depletion of the enzymes. And all we're doing is upregulating the resources that naturally should be there so that these people are completely eliminating these digestive stress problems.
Exactly. We could probably talk for hours about digestive problems, but let's just go ahead and just move on. So
I didn't bring in the super enzymes. I just brought in the Enzymes.
Okay.
This formula is considered an overall broad spectrum. And the only difference between Enzymes really and the digestive formula, the herbal formula or liquid or capsule, the big difference is that this one we find that we need it with people who have chronic long-term systemic inflammatory concerns that might be the byproduct of an immune system support that's needed. There might be some immune activity that needs some support in the immune system. So we'll have them take this one with food. We'll also have them take it away from food as a natural enhancement in getting inflammation out of the body. People who have long chronic histamine responses with allergies, and or that they know from their history that they've suffered from, maybe chronic UTIs or some kind of flu issues, cold issues, whatever that is. Obviously, none of our products treat that, but what we're doing is we're enhancing by naturally supporting the body with the enzymes, which contains the bromelain. There's your natural anti-inflammatory enzyme that promotes normal function when there's a lot of inflammation involved. You've got the protease, cellulase, lipase, and peptidase, which quercetin is another really potent antioxidant for people dealing with histamine responses due to allergies. And then we got our protein, our carbohydrates, our fats, breakdown with the different formula there. So that's one that we actually have people take 1 or 2 with food, but we'll also have them take 2 or 3 at bedtime because of the natural promotion of anti-inflammatory support that this provides naturally to the body. So that's really the only big difference in the 2 different formulas is that we'll kind of go to enzymes. We need a little more, not so much on the digestive side, but a little more on the long-term inflammatory side of these cases.
And I find anyone that's had digestive problems for a long period of time, they've got that inflammation. And initially we get them on the digest, either tincture or capsule. And within the next week, when they start to feel better, then we introduce them into the enzymes as well. So
yes.
And actually and we talked to them about bedtime as well. So
yep, excellent. That's a really wise approach. And they may have to do that for 60 to 90 days, along with a gradient improvement in their dietary choices. Okay?
Right.
IBS, Crohn's, chronic inflammatory bowel issues, all these different things. This is what you're seeing is a very acute, chronic condition of a byproduct of a person who's eating inflammatory foods. They've ate them way too long, probably in most cases, an underlying immune system support that's needed. But the new support kits will allow you to identify that real easily and add that in as needed.
Right. So what can you tell me about the other product, the Enzymes 100 Plus?
The super enzymes,
Or super enzymes, sorry.
super enzymes is, again, it's utilized very similar to the enzymes. However, I only have people take super enzymes with a meal. Typically, this is a person who's already lost their gallbladder or struggling with gallbladder performance. They need a little extra bile salts in the diet to really break down fats and meat protein better. And it's really utilized when the person's already lost the gallbladder. Then we reach right for the super enzymes and go there with maybe some additional use of the tincture or the capsule version of Digest. But super enzymes is always indicated when somebody has already lost their gallbladder. And unfortunately, in America, people are losing gallbladders at the rate of about 7,000 per day in America. That's about the average right now. So somewhere in the country, out of our 350 million populace, about 7,000 people a day are having these gallbladders taken out. And the surgeon or their primary care physician is not savvy enough, unfortunately, because they're not trained in health. They're trained in disease. They're not savvy enough to say, look, you're going to have digestive stress problems from now on. You're going to have to get a good quality enzyme that you take with every meal without fail, that's got some good bile salt supplementation to take the place of the missing gallbladder.
Right. I know when I had to have mine out, I almost died from mine.
Yes.
Because I had these huge stones. Because I was one of those latchkey kids in the 50s and the 60s. I was home all alone, so I would eat anything I could find,
Yeah.
And it's not like you're going to lose a gallbladder overnight. It builds up, builds up. And they showed me how bad it was. They didn't show me how to take care of myself after. So I was only able to take care of myself because of the information that, we've got through the family and everything else and all of these products and knowing how these products work, that has really kept me, not having any type of problem whatsoever, not having a gallbladder.
Yeah.
I talk to people all the time that have problems because they don't have a gallbladder. So,
right. Yep.
So anyway, is there anything else that, you could throw out there that's going to give us some more information about digestive issues or anything of that nature?
One final thought that's a resource, and we use it a lot with people with the chronic heartburn, acid reflux cases. If we check the hiatal hernia, we reset the digestive valves, they're taking, in a lot of cases, people come to me, they're already taking a fairly good quality enzyme. One of the things that we found is one of the old herbal remedies from generations past is to take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a half a tablespoon of honey and put it in hot water to dissolve the honey.
Right.
Let it go back to room temperature and just sip small amounts throughout the meal that normally is producing the heartburn for them. And they need to really get that hydrochloric acid back up in the system. We way overuse Nexium and Tums and Prilosec in this country, which is diminishing what little acid's left. And it's creating a tremendous amount of health concerns downstream. Lack of mineral absorption, hormone production, immune system depletion, because of not having good hydrochloric acid. And the acid found that's naturally occurring in an apple cider vinegar, preferably the Bragg's apple cider vinegar with the mother still in it, the little yellow or the little white film in the bottom. You're shaking it real good. And a tablespoon of that, 16 ounces of hot water. If you want to put a little honey in there, you can, because it makes it more palatable. And then let it go to room temperature and just small sips multiple times throughout that meal. And we've seen some amazing changes occur in the body's ability to perform digestively when we've added that resource in with our clients.
Okay. So does that pretty well cover what you want to make out today?
I think we've covered it very well, Bob. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Is there any indication of where we should move on from this as far as from digestion?
Nothing comes to mind at this time other than, I was reminded today, and I will say this, and I think your website has this. If not, we want to make sure and correct that or maybe post it as a YouTube short or something. But the calendar of cleanses, when you're nourishing and cleansing the body, is so critically important. People really need to understand and take that calendar of cleanses seriously and just map out their whole years worth of health regimens and health improvement activities that they can take themselves through when all else fails, cleanse and nourish, and use that calendar of cleanses to do that. So we might revisit that this next time around to see what the July calendar of cleanses might have in store for an actual cleanse.
All right. That sounds good. Sounds like something we can definitely work with. So, it's been great. I'm glad we're back together and our schedules are back to where they're working together. I had a little bit of a holiday there.
Yeah.
Not because I really wanted to. It's just things got to the point where we couldn't do it. So,
So anyway, take some you time.
Yeah. So anyway, until next week, this is Bob and Dan saying, stay strong, stay healthy, and come on back and learn more about the best kept secrets and supplements. Talk to you later.